He is
Live.
live.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us on our uh, discussion on the last 6 episodes of Godannar.
Yes.
It's been a wild ride for the last 5 weeks. Uh, Lots of mechs and kaiju combat and crazy combat action yells and
Yes.
gratuitous
And
fan.
fan service.
Yes.
Lots and lots of fan service. Oh, kitty.
Yep. Just keeping me company.
I also have my kitty right here too.
Hey,
It's about
no.
right there.
Behave.
There's my kitty.
Nice. Hi, kitty.
Sleeping.
Yeah.
He's like half asleep, half awake. Now he's awake.
Yeah. Okay. If you're not going to behave, you're going to have to go down.
He wants to be a part of the discussion.
Yeah, not quite.
He has a lot to say about these last 6 episodes.
Um. Oh man. So definitely some craziness.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um. So good stuff. I think they did pretty good with wrapping up the story and everything.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, any other general thoughts before we get into the episode breakdowns?
Um, Other than that, I thought like these 6 episodes is when I finally actually like got into the drama of it all. I was like, oh no, like what's gonna happen now? Like what's gonna happen to all these characters? Because now like at the very end of it, I actually got attached to almost all of them. I was like, I don't want any of them to die. I want
Yeah.
them to all live and be happy, please. So that is a positive at the very least. And yeah, no, like I thought these 6 episodes were like probably the best of the series because like they just had like a really good. I thought they each of them had like a good pacing.
Yeah.
To like they didn't slow down, and if they did, it was just to reveal more character, and then immediately just goes back to the action. But I admired that. I admired that like it had like a good. All of them had like a good flow to each other. Like none of them felt too stale or too slow. I was like, no, I'm interested. I want to see what happens at the very end of this. So yeah, no, I enjoyed these ones very much.
Yeah. I would agree. Definitely, definitely good. Good wrap up of everything, and yeah, looking forward to breaking it all down and getting to the down and dirty about it.
That's good.
So, um, sorry, messing around with the uh, channel.
Oh,
Just making sure we're actually live.
oh, okay.
um, all right, so let's get into episode 21.
Really, DJ? Really? That's your first screenshot?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Are you... Oh my god.
It was too perfect to pass it up.
God. Alright, I'm just gonna put my hand up because I'm gonna be distracted the entire time.
um, so yeah, so episode 21 opens up with Go and Pops chit chatting about how smoothly Danner's been operating, and just kind of general talk. Um, and then Go ends up leaving, and uh, the rear end that you see here is Tonko's, and so her and Pops talk a little bit about Go and Anna, um, just kind of talking about their relationship and everything. Um, and then we cut to Oh, hold on. Wrong thing. There we go.
There.
Uh, cut to seeing Anna and having this nice meal all spread out. The three of them are, eating nicely and stuff. Uh, and then go
And that.
go tackles Anna to thank her for such an exquisite meal, and Anna's like, "But Shinobu's in front of here with
He's
us."
like, I don't care. He can watch. He can watch. I'm like, oh, whoa, 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 there, buddy.
And it turns out that it's just a dream.
Yeah. I'm about to
So,
say, I was like, whoa, whoa, where do we go?
yeah.
Like, back to robot action real quick. Hang on. Give me a second.
So yeah, it turns out Go's actually talking with the professor and commander, and in the process of getting grounded from piloting the Godannar because of the virus outbreak that they discovered and the implications of it, that it affects male pilots the most due to their more aggressive nature, so to speak.
Yeah.
So what went through your head when like, were you expecting them to ground him, or was that kind of a surprise for you?
No, I thought it was like the most logical step, honestly. Like, yeah, almost everyone who's been affected by this virus has been male. And you go, or like number one candidate, not to mention that apparently Danner is the strongest out of all the mechs. So if you lose control, there's going to be hardly anybody to stop him.
Yeah.
So I think they made an argument going like, no, you're grounded. Like, like it sucks. Yeah, I get it. Like, we get it. You want to go in you want to go in the robot, but at the same time you can't, because if you do, we might all be screwed. So no.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a good sign. That like he's so determined to protect everybody.
Yeah.
He's not ashamed of that responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
Yeah, no, he's willing to do it.
he's unfortunately, given the situations and everything, he's a risk now. So, but yeah, So during this conversation, we do find out that the virus is worldwide, and it's determined that the more exposure that you have to the mimetic beasts, the more susceptible you are. And again, male pilots being on the front lines and everything like that, um, they unfortunately they are just the most vulnerable to it. So, after much frustration, he does finally accept it. And they tell him that it's just until a cure can be found, and he reluctantly does agree. So, kind of sad.
Yeah.
So after that, we cut to Shinobu returning to the apartment and finds Anna asleep on the floor. And yet she has pants on. So
Yeah, she does. No, she has. Yeah, no, yeah. Don't worry, folks. She has pants on. It's just the angle that they shot it at. I'm just like, why?
yeah. So
do you all have to?
And what's funny is he's like talking to her about the fact that she's asleep and that her underwear is showing. So he's like, "Really, Anna?" Like,
which makes no sense though. She's wearing shorts. How would her underwear be short? Are they like half off or something? I don't know. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, she is spread open.
True.
So, so he does see that there's a full meal prepared on the table waiting for everybody. So the dream wasn't a complete lie. she had
Yeah.
prepared some kind of a meal. But
Oh, yeah, it was just her at the table and no one else.
yeah. So then we cut to Go sitting at the feet of Danner, kind of looking up at it, depressed, and Pop surprises him by touching the side of his head with a cold can of beer.
I'm like a good brewski to soothe the soul.
Yep. Um, and so they're talking about the situation and everything. Um, Obviously, he's depressed about it, and then uh, Pops is trying to cheer him up, reassure him, he's their best pilot and everything. He's the strongest. And Go makes the comment that he's not the strongest.
Yep. And then we cut to Ken kicking more ass.
Yep. So, uh, so yeah, Ken and Lou are still fighting, uh, and he's still, complaining uh, that they're not, each mimetic beast that he kills is not the right one.
Yeah.
Um, so thought this was a pretty cool shot after they finished up the battle.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like the way it looks.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, after the battle's finished, they're at a campsite, and Ken actually compliments Lou on the dinner that she made, and then they have a brief conversation about the future. Uh, so, what was kind of your thoughts on this interaction?
No, it kind of seemed like to me that he was starting to warm up to Lou a little more. Like he was already like kind of like mentoring her before, but now like he kind of showed a more softer and more vulnerable side to her during this like conversation. So it was like a nice little character beat.
Yeah. Um, yeah, definitely um, more accepting of her at this point.
Yeah.
So, um, so then we cut back to Go being all depressed, just reading through the newspaper, and Anna's trying to cheer him up, offering to make anything he wants after she gets back from training, but he's just zoned out. Um, doesn't respond at all.
Yeah.
So then it cuts to Anna training and yelling and screaming at Go, which is pretty funny.
Then eventually she like fails at the simulation too.
Yeah.
Like all that and you still failed. You suck.
uh, but after she fails, she does kind of like, uh, kind of apologize for being upset with him. Understands his depression, but
Yeah.
um, so, and then she gets called into the command room, and we find out that Shizuru is being tasked with piloting Danner, and that the both of them need to train to be able to merge correctly in combat. So, uh, which this leads to some a couple comedic moments later.
Yeah.
So, what did you think when it was revealed Shizuru was going to take over piloting Danner?
Well, I thought it made sense to me because I was like, well, aside from Mira, Shizuru is like one of the more top pilots that they have.
Yeah,
So like, and honestly too, like their strongest is like they can't use him right now, so they have to go with whoever they can at the moment. So like Shizuru to me, this was like another good logical step in like the pilots that they can access. So it made sense to me. And plus, I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, okay, Shizuru's going to be like in charge of the strongest mech they have. That's neat.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Um, so yeah, definitely agree. So we do get some. Eventually, we do get some shots of them training, which is nice. Um, so after this conversation, it cuts out to showing Go sitting on the cliff, looking out at the sea, and Shinobu, looking at him from behind. Um, so obviously he can tell that he wants to do something for Go, but doesn't know what to do at this point.
Yeah.
Let's see. So then we get a funny interaction here. So Mira's talking with the Lovebird mechanics, and they're talking about the Neo Oakser, and she's like, "Yeah, there seems to be like this spot that's not quite right," and they're like, "Well, what are you talking about? Like everything, checks out." So she turns around, puts her ass in their faces, which her ass is almost sticking out of the uh, outfit.
Yeah. But first of all, I got upset because I was like, "Woman, why are you punching him?"
Because
Not
he
like he
was
wanted to
staring.
look. No, not like he wanted to look. The ass was just right in front of him. What do you want?
But he was oogling her.
Listen, all right, listen. My guy was just admiring the view. All right, you
Yeah.
still got you. I know I gotta punch me across the freaking room. And that's one anime trope I hate. When like women just like punch men. I'm like, stop. You didn't even deserve it. You were doing the exact same thing too. That's weird. Funny but weird. And annoying, but
um. So. Uh, so then after this, Mira's walking along and overhears Pops and Tonko talking about modifying Danner for Shizuru and her hips.
Pops is like every single time he talks to Shizuru, he always makes mention that they fixed the seat just for her. Like, what the
Or
like,
they
dude.
haven't had a time to adjust it for her.
Yeah. And I'm just like, wow, all right, dude. Like, even like Thomas is like, doesn't that count as sexual harassment? I'm like, yeah, it probably does. I'm like, you need to chill, man. You need to chill, Pops. Like, relax.
Um, and then Go finally does. In the evening, he finally returns back from looking at the sea. Uh, so, and then we cut to Shizuru walking into the training room and sees one of the simulators going.
Yeah.
And when it finally pops open, it's Shinobu inside.
Yes. Willing to train. He's been training. He's put it upon himself to start training.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I congratulate him. I'm like, you know what? Good on him for sticking up. He's like, listen, my brother's not gonna be able to get into mech right now, so I gotta do what I gotta try to do.
Yeah. Um, so, and what's nice is Shizuru understands where he's coming from, so she agrees to teach him some tricks, as she puts it.
Yeah, help him train basically.
Yeah. So it was a nice moment between the two of them.
Yeah, I ship it. I know they're probably distant in age, but
Yeah,
freaking, I don't care. Freaking,
he's the same age as Anna, and she's close to the same age as Go. So
I think she's younger. I think she might be like early
only
20s. I think.
No, she's only a year or two younger than Go,
Oh, okay then.
at least
But
from my understanding.
okay. Well, yeah. I'm about to say I was like, well, yeah, they seem fine, but at the same because I was just like, well, people might look at me weird, but I'm like, well, listen, freaking Go and Honor are like fucking. I don't know how old they are, like 30, 17 years old, and they're married. I'm like, listen, the age gap between characters is not the biggest issue with this show, people.
So, so after this conversation ends, it cuts, pulls out, and we see that Mira's been observing their conversation the whole time. Um, and then she kind of walks off. And then her and the professor end up having a conversation, about everything that's going on. And Professor reveals that all male pilots have been banned from piloting until, and that basically they're giving up on a cure at this point.
Yeah.
Which, like, I totally forgot that was coming, so it really caught me by surprise. I was like, well, that sucks.
Yep. They're like, well, we don't have a cure, so I don't know what to tell you.
So, and then during this conversation, Professor, the doctor, tells Mara that the way Go is right now is very similar to when they lost her 5 years ago. Um, and just to give her a little bit of perspective on Go's mental state at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts to Go standing in front of the Danner again. Anna sees him, um, and he has this kind of freak out scream moment.
Yeah, he sort of has like a mental breakdown almost.
Yeah.
Like he's powering up the Godannar, but he's not actually gonna like control it. He's just doing it just to like, I don't know, like satisfy himself or just like give a sense that he's back in control, but he's not.
Yeah. So he hops in and basically starts revving up the engine.
Yeah, you see the
Wait.
chest end start to glow.
And um, and everybody in the base hears it.
Yeah.
And we get
They even make mention like, should we stop him? And Pops is like, no, let him. He's not gonna do anything. Just let him get out of his system.
Yeah. So then Anna remembers a moment 5 years ago where she was running up to Go while he was in the cockpit, very similar to this, and she runs in and falls flat on her face in front of him. And of course, she does the same thing again. And it's not what it looked like.
Time, my dude. What is wrong with you?
I got it. It was too good to pass up.
You can pick another screenshot.
Well, that's what they gave us for that moment.
Oh, I highly doubt it. I mean, true, there were a lot of shots of that, but whatever. Continue.
Yeah. So, but like I said, it's not what it looks like. She just
Or is it? Not
trips over her own feet again.
Yeah.
Lands in front of Go, surprising him. And then, of course, immediately alarms start blaring that there's beasts approaching. So Anna and Chizuru, get suited up. Go gives Anna some tips on the fight. And Pops tells Chizuru that her tush might hurt since Danner hasn't been changed for her yet.
Freaking Lord. It makes mention of it every time. It's so funny.
And she's like, I'll be fine.
Yeah, she's like, ignore it.
So they take off, and they don't merge.
No, not. No, I don't think yet.
No.
Actually, I don't think they merge at all.
No. So then of course, um, Ken and uh, Ken and Chizuru or Ken and Lou show up um, and begin arguing about who gets to kill the beast. And at one point, Chizuru almost gets eaten.
Yeah.
Um, and then this is them all arguing over who has the right to fight and kill the beast.
Yeah. And like
Uh,
Lou is just like, I'm sorry, Lou was annoying me in these
yeah,
episodes. I'm like, get out of the way, freaking little
yeah.
brat. I get it, your dad died, but you can't. But you know what? No, it's not longer an excuse. Get out of the way.
Well, and she's not even talking about her dad anymore. She's just like Ken worship and
Yeah, she's
this,
just
Ken that.
it's just like this is like, girl, how old is this man compared to you? You're 14, right? I think you're a little too young, Missy.
Uh,
Get out of the way. I literally would just smacked her, just like smacked her robot. Just get out of my way, freaking.
um, so after a bit of arguing and stuff, Ken and Chizuru both launch attacks at each other, and that's where episode 21 ends.
Yep, freaking cliffhanger. Like, you suck.
So overall, for episode 21, thoughts, feelings.
No, it was a good episode. I had a nice bit of drama and comedy, some good action. It was nice. I thought it was a cool matchup between Chizuru and Ken because I was like, oh, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. And episode ends. Lovely.
So yeah. So then episode 22 starts off. We get a quick recap of the end of the last episode. Chizuru is told to not attack Ken because they don't want to provoke him into transforming.
Yeah. But of course, like, yeah, but Ken just kind of ignores that and just goes straight for the beast and actually manages to kill it.
And
does he kill it? Or does he just like severely wound it?
So I'm trying to think. I know the beast starts emitting sound waves, and so like it kind of changes up the battle a bit.
Yeah. But Ken doesn't. I don't know. But Ken doesn't really seem like affected by it. Like you see, like you see him like start to transform and everything, but like it's not really because of the sound waves. It's just because of his like seething anger. Because this is the creature. This is the mimetic beast that killed his partner. It's revealed.
Yeah. So Ken does get knocked into the water.
Yeah.
And then let's see here. So Ken gets knocked into the water. Shizuru tries to attack the beast. Lou interferes, causing Danner to get hit by the beast, which is why Danner's down. Anna tries to help and gets shot by Lou. And so, just as the beast is about to attack Danner, Ken pops back up and stabs it, but it's not enough to kill it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not enough to kill it.
We get a quick glimpse of Go hopping into like a chopper.
Yeah, like an osprey looking thing to fly off and go help in the fight, despite their orders.
Yeah. And Mira's instructed to prepare to launch. So, so things aren't just, they're not looking very good.
They're all chaotic.
Yeah. So obviously Ken's still fighting the beast. And at some point he hits it and you hear like a metal clank.
Yeah, like you actually see his sword like snap, and he says like, "I knew it. The one thing that got cut in my sword was my own armor." And he literally like punches the beast, and he like rips out this whole other mech
Yeah. Let me get to that. So
Yeah, but yeah, rips out that whole other mech, and this is the mech. It's revealed in a flashback. This is the mech that his partner was using in the battle, like way back then when they were fighting
yeah.
this beast.
So after he pulls it out of the beast, he has this flashback to the moment that she gets captured.
Yeah,
Um, but uh, once the beasts are killed and everything, and they have a chance to open it up, turns out that the pilot, the cockpit's empty.
yeah, she's not there, and so yeah, and so Ken is kind of like, well, Lou shows up, and Ken's just kind of like, it's your turn now.
Yeah.
Get into the
Uh,
cockpit. Will you help me?
so Lou hops into the cockpit, and the beast turns out it wasn't dead yet.
No.
So, um, doo, 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 doo. Oh, but part of the problem is the Mac won't start. Rose's Mac won't start for Lou.
Yeah.
Um, so then, uh, so during this time, Go manages to get Shizuru into the emergency vehicle. Um, Beast does do an attack. Anna blocks it but gets damaged. And then Ken calls out, which manages to cause the Lou's new mech to wake up. And they merge. So this was in the process of them merging. And gets it was really hard to catch screenshot of like a good screenshot of what follows next. The action
Yeah.
was just too quick, and um, so it's really hard to see in this. But when they merge, basically the other mech turns into a giant sword,
Mm-hmm.
and so Ken's able to use that to slice the beast completely in half.
Yep. Just right down the middle, and that is what finally seals the deal and kills it.
Um, then, of course, we see Ken really starting to mutate at that point.
Yeah, he's lost it.
Uh,
Like as
uh,
soon as you started turning, I was like,
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
This is not good.
Um, so, so then, um, finishes getting Shizuru into the copter, sends
Yeah.
it on autopilot back to the base. Then
Yeah.
he jumps into Danner, despite
Yeah.
everybody yelling at him about it.
They're like, no, go, don't. He's like, too late. I'm already in the cockpit. It's like, no, damn it, no.
Uh, so, so yeah. So Go hops in Danner. Anna's freaking out, doesn't know what to do at this point. Um, so Go calls the jet boy, which Ken slices through it, but it gives him an opening to get in there and attack Ken. They show Mira waiting to launch, but they haven't told her to go yet.
Yep.
Uh, Ken launches his ultimate attack, which is an even bigger hurricane. We did see it earlier when he was attacking the beast before he got uh, before he finished it off. So he's getting ready to slice Go, and Anna pops up in front of it and manages to catch it. Uh,
Everybody's like, what?
yeah, and she actually manages to break the tip of the blade to
Mm-hmm.
everybody's surprise. Um, they do manage to merge despite everything, and then they land a heartbreaker punch and Ken's mech, merged mech. Um, so let's see here. So they do manage to. Uh, oh yeah, and then we get to see Mara crying because of Anna and Go's bond.
Mm-hmm. And like she sort of like wishes her and Go had that, and then we get into another part and that kind of like puts the seed in for another part I don't like, but we'll talk about that later when it comes up.
Yeah. So Ken and Go are still duking it out, and they both launch their ultimate attacks at each other, or one of them. And Go manages to overpower Ken's thrust. But after they have their victory, they're suddenly surrounded by beasts. And we do get reports indicating that beasts are attacking all the bases at once. Ghost starts fighting the beasts as Ken flees.
Yeah, and as Go is fighting the beast, you just see him like start to mutate more and more, and Honest is telling him to stop because he's just going too far.
Yeah,
and that's when it ends.
Yep. And right before that, Anna's freaking out too because her mech's reactors are starting to overheat.
Yep, they're like above level 6 or something like that. They keep mentioning.
Yeah, they're like maxing out at that point.
Yeah, and like Go is just in a berserker rage at this moment. Like at this point, like you can't even hear anything. He's just seeing all red.
Yeah. So yeah, episode 22, another really good one. It was cool to finally see Ken's full mech.
Yeah, that sword and that slash was really cool,
Yeah.
and it was really neat. I thought it was really cool too to finally see another rematch between Godannar and Ken's mech once more, and actually see Godannar actually get like good hits on him for once instead of like Ken always like being the one to succeed in the end.
Yep.
Which I personally believe that it was like both because of like Anna's determination, but also because of like Go becoming angrier and angrier as the battle went on. So I feel like that might have like increased their power to a dangerous level, but it still helped out in the end.
For sure. So yeah, another really good episode.
Yep.
So then episode 23 opens up with kind of recapping everything that we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And fight between Go and Ken, Beast breakout. Then it cuts to the different the few remaining teams doing their best to fight off the beasts around the world. So here we see Katarina's team being surrounded. One of the caveats that's it takes them a little while to realize what's going on is Gunk starts hitting all their boys, boy bots.
These like little tank mechs or something. Yeah, and they're basically the DNA, like the Memento beasts are like trying to like infect them almost and use them against the
pilots.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, we also get to see the English siblings chasing airborne beasts towards something. And then it does cut back to Go and Anna fighting the beasts, and Go still having his rampaging. And then we get the opening credits, and as soon as they end,
we like immediately cut to like Go on like a hospital bed, like being carried away as like fast as he. like really fast. Like, they're just like rushing him into the emergency room.
Yeah. So, and so, and the professor, or the doctor, and his mom mentions that Go hasn't fully transformed yet through sheer willpower.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how they determined that, but hey, that's good to know.
Plot.
Yeah.
That's how you plot. Just ignore it. Just I don't know.
It kind of reminded me of in episode 3 of Star Wars when the robots say, "She's lost the will to live."
Oh, that. That's so stupid. I freaking hate that. Moving on from that. Moving on to something entertaining.
Anyway,
that garbage.
So we do get a confirmation that apparently all the beasts are and the bots that they kidnapped are all heading towards Godannar base.
Yep, they're like, because they say that Godannar base is like the biggest like threat to them.
Yeah.
So they're just like, all right, gentlemen, that way.
Yeah.
That way to our mortal enemy. Let's crush them once and for all. Like every single mech beast and like all their mechs they're taking over now, they're all just like, all right, let's go. Let's go take care of that.
So then base goes into red alert because they only have so much time to get prepared. So there's an evacuation notice, initiated. Mechanics are apparently told to leave. Pops obviously is staying because he's the lead mechanic, but his crew tell him, "Hey, we're staying too. This is our home. We're going to fight for it."
Yeah.
So, pretty cool moment. And then we see like civilians, leaving, and Shinobu's part of it. And Shizuru catches up with them. He tells her, that he doesn't want to leave, and she reminds him it's his task to protect the cats, and then gives him a hug. So he's the one carrying all the cats and kittens.
Of course. They're a priority, DJ. You got to take care of the cats.
Yeah.
In a time of crisis, they're the most important.
We do get a quick glimpse at everybody putting on like pilot outfits, like people that normally don't wear them are suddenly putting on pilot outfits, which
like on his mom, the two girls on the at the desks.
Yeah, the controllers.
I think that might.
And the mechanics too, I think.
Oh, they do too?
I can't remember now.
I
thought that there was more, but maybe it was just those three.
I think it's just those three.
Yeah.
Well, that and the other, like, the guy too that is always like standing next to Anna's mom.
Yeah, the commander.
I think he's in a suit as well.
Yep. So then it cuts to showing Mira walking up to the med bay and sees Go and Anna talking. Obviously, she's very upset about it.
Yeah.
And so after going in and talk for a bit, they embrace, showing that, no harm, no foul between the two of them. And then we get, let's see here. So Anna, Mira, and Shizuru all launch to face the approaching beasts. Go sitting there begging a nurse to let him like watch or listen to the combat, and she's like, "Nope."
Like, even like listening, even like listening to it could get you riled up, and we don't want that. So no. And of course, as soon as she says that, they like the medic beasts are like already right there.
Yeah.
They're like, "We're here, suckers!" Like launch a freaking ambush, and like they like send like a whole bunch of like I don't know, energy blast or something, and it like managed to actually hit the base. And everybody's freaking out. They're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. So we do see the three girls start fighting the beast. Anna reaches the lead one, but gets captured, as shown here.
Because of course,
Mira tells Shizuru to merge with her.
yeah, and they do.
Yeah.
They formed a Godannar. I was like, oh, all right, this is cool.
So they merge, they take out the beast, and turns out it was all a distraction. And like you said, the base was hit by the true like main beast.
Yeah, I find it funny though how like as soon as they like destroy the beast, they both come out like unmerged.
Yeah, they separated immediately.
Like they both fall, like they are separate. Yeah, I was like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So they don't really explain what happened there. Just poop.
I think it was just because I think that might have been their first time like merging.
Yeah.
Them two. So they were like not used to like the pressure, the power it had. So I think I think they held it on by the very last second, and then as soon as the beast got destroyed, that's when I think they unfused from each other.
Yeah. Because I mean, we've only heard about Anna and Shizuru being told to train for merging.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so then they, there's a new, much larger beast, obviously attacking the base, and basically it turns out it's a Trojan horse. Bunch of tiny beasts launch from it to start attacking the base. And so the main beast again starts charging up for another blast attack, but Anna lands and manages to block it at the last second.
Yeah, but even she gets like knocked down from that because the blast is so powerful.
And then all of a sudden the beast gets hit by an attack.
Yeah, and you're like,
and
what happened?
And Anna's like, why is my principal there? And I forgot to take a screenshot of that.
Damn it. That was such a cool
I got another one though a little bit later.
Okay. Yeah, the principal's just like, I'm here to say today, now then, my beauties, attack! And all of a sudden, freaking the GOAT, the MVP, Koji, my boy Koji shows up.
Yeah.
And starts taking on the beast. We haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah. So Godannar base is cleared to launch. So Koji uses does what he can to keep the beast distracted long enough for Godannar base to launch out.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this is a cool shot. Like I really love the composition between the 3D ship and like the 2D. Just like underneath it, like I thought that was really cool looking. I thought it like made for like a good like composition between the two of them, or like a juxtaposition.
Yeah, I was glad I was able to get that shot.
Yeah, no, it's a really good shot.
So, and then like right at the very end,
the principal reveals himself. He's like, I am no
takes
principal.
off his costume. And it turns out it's Anna's dad.
Yeah, like as soon as like Anna's mom started mentioning like that hunk of a man, I'm like, oh no, oh here we go. That's your husband, isn't it? She's like, that's my long lost husband. I'm like, oh, buddy. And that's where the episode ends with Anna saying, "That's my dad."
Yeah.
Nani? And then.
Overall thoughts of episode 23.
I thought it was good. A lot of fun, especially the ending with the whole reveal. Like that line of just like, my long lost husband is like so like corny and cheesy. But damn do I love it.
Yeah. And yeah, because like the whole time they never even talked.
Yeah, they never really gave an explanation for what happened to Anna's dad. You're like, okay, what happened to the father? So they kind of like left it open.
Yeah.
And plus too, like, yeah, no, it was weird, but like it was odd. But
Because
now,
Anna's mom kept flirting with the commander.
yeah, because I thought there was a thing between the two of them,
Yeah, so did I.
but no,
So,
the
like I
dad,
said, it's been a long time since I've seen it, so
yeah,
I
but no,
completely forgot. Yeah.
daddy show.
Uh, so we jump into episode 24, get a quick recap of Godannar base launching. So they're in the air flying. We get a reshot of Anna's dad revealing himself. Uh, Basically, the um, Godannar base has the ability to kind of keep the beasts at bay. So they tell all the mechs to come back and resupply. Um, well, Godannar base is doing its best to fight, kill the smaller beasts and
Yeah,
everything. Uh, so
and as like Ahmed is like approaching the what is she like following the base? We kind of get like a talk between her and her dad,
yeah,
and like she starts remembering like, wait a second, and then we cut back to all the other characters that have like been around Anna, and I had a feeling I was like, wait a second, like after the prior episode, I was like, wait a second, was her dad? If her dad was like pretending to be the president, does that mean he was also like that driver, that truck driver that picked her up? And lo and behold, it was. Not only that, it was a freaking waiter at that restaurant she was working at too. That weird guy just never talked.
yeah.
Always like near Anna.
So
That would make sense why he was so protective when those guys were like ogling her.
yeah.
It was just his father instincts coming in. I'm like, that makes so much more sense. I love it.
So after all that, we do get the command center, the bridge, talking about sensor readings and everything. Now that they cleared out some of the other beasts, and they find out that there's like a super beast hiding in a trench not too far away.
Mm-hmm.
So they're determined to fly out to it and take it out to try and put an end to this chaos.
Yeah. Although they do mention not putting an end to the war, but at least give them an upper hand in it.
Yeah. So then we cut to Anna searching for Go because apparently he's missing.
Yeah.
A couple of mechanics were injured during the battle, so they're in the med bay recovering.
Oh yeah, did we not mention that last episode? Those two lovebirds kissed, by the way, because the guy got injured, and when they kissed, the girl glowed blue, and I never explained that until later. But yeah, we forgot to mention that. So that's why it's kind of like this, because they have the conversation where it's just like, well, how about like one of them mentions like, well, that kiss was something different. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like she literally glowed while they kissed. Like it was like immaculate.
Yeah. So they finally do get engaged.
Yes, finally. My guy finally confesses. I'm like, thank you, finally. Because the guy was like, he was struggling a bit. I was about to get mad again. I was like, oh my God, will you marry me? Say it. Say it. Say it.
So then so everybody's being checked out, scanning everything.
Yeah, especially Koji.
And Koji is not showing any signs like Go is of the infection levels.
Which I feel like is just because he probably just recently got back into the mech, because like he's been injured for almost the entire series. So
yeah.
And then they also check out Mira and Chizuru, who are also there, who also happen to like show like not really any signs of the infection, but like something different entirely.
Yeah.
Which comes back later in like I think the last episode.
Yeah, the last episode explains a lot of this. Yeah. So I didn't get Didn't get a screenshot of it, but Shizuru gets assigned to pilot Lou's old mech, the diver one.
Yeah, the diver board or something like that.
And Pops tells her he didn't get a chance to widen the seat for her, but she says it's fine.
This freaking guy, man. This guy needs to stop. You need to tell him, like, okay, dude, do you like her or not? Just come out and say it.
Yeah, just so they launch an underwater attack to go after the big beast, and it's just Shizuru and Koji, because Koji's mech can work underwater, apparently. So they plan on launching a giant missile that Danner Base has, but they only have one.
Yeah.
And the idea is to
call like a Zeta missile or something like that, like a Z missile.
Yeah. So they manage to clear a path through all the tiny beasts, and Koji essentially rides the missile.
He basically like carries it towards the beast's like weak point or like open area.
Yeah. Shizuru did get hit beforehand, so she was kind of knocked out of the way again. And then the English and Russian teams arrived to help Anna as the beast cells start leaving all the bots and flying off.
Yeah. And it kind of, everybody's like, what are they doing? And then the girls in the computer start to freak out because these beasts, what they do is that they just literally get absorbed in like the super beast, and it just grows bigger and bigger and bigger until it's like something like a 7,000 miles like long or something like that.
Yeah, it's
a mess. It's huge. Like, it's probably the biggest beast they fought.
It is.
Entire season so far.
Yeah. So let's see here. So yeah, as you can see, so like all of them start flying towards it. Danner Base is pursuing the boss monster. We get a shot of Shinobu bringing Shizuru to the med bay, which somebody yells at him about that. And then so both teams attack the beast and compare its size to Katarina's breast size. And she says, but mine are real.
Yeah. I was kind of just like taken aback by like the dialogue they were throwing out. Like the beast was like emerging. I was like, what the?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, man. Dub writers like literally just kind of gave up, and this part of the dialogue, it was just like, you know what? Just compare it to her breasts.
So
you don't have any idea what to compare it to. Just compare it to the next thing you can.
Danner Base is trying to approach, and just as it gets into firing range, the large beast hits Danner Base. So both teams,
like sends like a huge like laser beam right at them.
So both teams like unmerge, so that way they have more people to attack. Anna shows up to help with the fight, and or at least Dragliner separated to help with like the group attack. But the beast launches some kind of a wave attack. Oh wait, no, that's later. Really, I didn't get. Okay, hold on, I lost my spot. Sorry. So yeah, so this is the start of the group attack. And then we do get a little bit of a tender moment between Shizuru and Shinobu. Uh, base is taking damage and everything, so they're shaking up.
I ship it.
And he asks her, why she keeps pushing herself when she's injured. And she says she does it for feeling guilty that she was glad the virus only affected men.
Yeah. And Shinobu kind of just like reassures her, like, that's not a bad thing to feel like good that you're not becoming a monster like men are.
Yeah. So then it cuts back to the battle. Knight does his dragon breath attack again. Does damage the beast a bit. But then all of a sudden, a bunch of tentacles pop up and grab him. They do quickly manage to break free of the tentacles, and they take to the air and see the beast changing its form again.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, like, the girls again are like freaking out even more because like it's forming this like huge web.
Yeah. And then it rises out of the water and starts charging up a new attack.
Yeah, and it basically what it does is like it kind of does like a Godzilla like a nuke, like what does he do? Like a nuclear impulse or something like that, nuclear pulse that Godzilla would do, and just kind of goes, just launches it, and all of the mechs get caught in the crossfire, and it's like, oh no!
Yeah. So they call it a dimensional dome attack, and we see Ken's mech wake up. There was a quick glimpse of something falling towards Shinobu and Shizuru. When we finally cut back to them, we see Go manage to get there in time to save them, so he finally resurfaces.
Yeah. Then him and Mira get in their mech, take off to go join the fight.
Yeah, so Go, Shizuru, and Shinobu before this had a nice little conversation, and Mira was waiting for Go to arrive at the Godannar. We get a quick glimpse of the mechanics reporting about Go and Mira taking off unauthorized. And when they finally arrive, this is the aftermath of the beast's attack. Pretty much every mech is out of commission completely.
Yeah. Even in that shot, like showing them all devastated, I was like, oh no, are they? Please be okay. Please let none of them be dead. Because like they look messed up. Like all these shots, all of them, I'm like, oh god, they took it like full force. I'm like, jeez.
Yeah. So the episode ends with Go and Mira merging.
Yeah. And they're like about to take on the Mega Beast, and then Ken kind of comes in the middle of it. He kind of looks back at him, and he's just like, "Stay out of my way" or something like that.
And to top it all off, Go is starting to show more signs of mutation.
They're both of them are. Like both of them are really starting to mutate. So it's just like, you're like freaking out.
So overall thoughts of episode 24.
Stressful.
Yes, very.
Especially like near like the end of it. I was like, oh no. Like as soon as it ended, it was funny. I just told myself, I'm like, all right, I'll watch this episode. And I'm like, I'll watch the next episode later. As soon as it got to the cliffhanger of Ken showing up, I was like, nope, and I watch the episode now.
Yeah, definitely a good one for that.
Yep.
So we'll jump right into episode 25. Pretty much opens up with Ken launching his ultimate attack against the beast as he is transforming in front of Lou, and she's kind of freaking out. But apparently their cockpits don't merge together when the mechs
No, they're separate apparently.
Yeah.
Which I think makes sense though, because like again, she is sort of a separate entity when she transforms. She's not like forming with him.
Yeah.
forms of, but that's not like in the same like mech as like say if Anna and Go were to merge in their mechs. So that makes sense
Yeah.
why they would be. For some reason, I thought that they were like close together, but like then later on, I was like, oh wait, no, she's in the sword and he's in the mech. Okay, that makes more sense.
So the Ken's attack does manage to stop the beast's attack, uh, but unfortunately, like his mech, it looks like his mech is destroyed, and
Yeah, yeah,
Lou
no, his is like, taking immense damage.
and Lou disappears. So this puts Go into a rage, and he starts, going ballistic on it and fighting it, obviously causing him to transform more.
Yeah, and like at a faster rate too now because he's just like completely in a primal like state. So he's just trying to kill this thing.
Yeah, and of course, everybody's trying to calm him down, but he's, it's not working.
Yeah,
So Mira, um, in the midst of all this, which I didn't get a shot of it because it was just too quick. Uh, Mira pulls out a gun and actually starts turning around to shoot him, and he hits the unmerge button, causing her mech to pop out. And as soon as she lands, she turns around and goes to attack him, and Anna pops up out of nowhere and tackles her.
yeah, she like pushes her to the ground.
Um, so Anna says that she could reach Go if they merge, and she can see him face to face. So the operators say, "Hey, because they're talking about like, yeah, we're not going to be able to convince them to merge at this point, like with the minds, with them being in this rage mode."
Yeah,
And the operators say, "Hey, we can write a program that'll force them to merge."
yeah, they like mentioned that, and they like get on it like lickety split as soon as they say that.
Yeah.
Like, well, we're gonna like as soon as we can. So just like hang on a minute.
So the commander jumps into another control seat to basically control the Godannar base while the two operator girls work on their program together.
Yeah,
Um, so pretty much everybody going all out for it. Unfortunately, while all this is going on, Go gets slimed.
yeah, as if things can't get worse.
Yeah. Uh, so he gets slimed, starts going on a rampage, um, and which causes enough of a distraction for the beast to start heading into the city. Um, the mechanics finally managed to get Godannar base repaired, or mostly repaired. Um, so that's going through there. What is the shot?
Oh, I know. This is like I think when Shizuru and Shinobu take over the firing controls for the
Yeah,
base.
because they didn't have the automated controls. So
Yeah, because they're telling because like both Shizuru and Shinobu are just like, listen, we're like we're like desperate right now, so we're gonna take this over and like see and just help out as much as we can.
um, so while all this is going on, they realize that the beast is headed towards a shelter. So
You know,
they say that they only have so much time to stop it before it gets there.
which apparently it does make it to the shelter because you see like see it destroying like a bunch of buildings and stuff like that. All
Well,
of a sudden,
it's marching through the city itself, getting to the shelter.
okay, but the city is like empty, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, that makes more sense because I was, I thought it was funny. They were like, "Oh no, it's approaching. It will be there, at the shelter, pretty soon," and it shows up at the shelter like immediately. I'm like, guys, it's already there.
yeah.
But after seeing it's in the city, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So they said it had like a half an hour or something before it reached the shelter that it was heading towards. Um, So let's see. Um, so Anna and Mira are arguing about Go, um, and that's when Shizuru volunteers to manually target the base cannons. Um, the gunk on the Danner allowed Go to attack by range, but after his attacks were blocked or stopped, he goes in for a direct attack.
Yeah.
Koji pops up and
MVP.
stops Go's attack. Um,
And
of
he's like,
course,
I'm ready to take you on, Go. Come on. He's ready. Like, he's willing to take on Go, like, one-on-one.
yeah. So his outer shell gets destroyed, and the inner shell, he has like a harpoon attack that he launches. So he does pretty good about holding Go off.
Yeah, like, it's, again, Koji, MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The
Uh,
GOAT.
and then, so Mira hits like after this, Koji gets knocked out of the way. So Mira lands and she hits him with the time lock attack, which holds him in place for a minute and starts charging up basically her own Kamehameha.
Yeah, thank you. Great minds think alike, DJ. Literally, when I saw her do that pose, I was like, "Oh my god, she's forming a Kamehameha. This is it.
Yeah,
It's about to happen."
and so they mentioned that she's taking the like gravity attack that her mech has and is like concentrating it to.
She's like condensing it into like something even more like powerful, like sort of like a black hole. They say
Yeah.
that will not only like destroy Go, but will kill her also.
So, at this point, like Anna finally lands in front of Go. He's still frozen, and Mira at this point is like, "I'm taking him out with me. We both deserve to die. Like nobody else can have him, and all this other crap."
Yeah, that I was getting annoyed by. I was like, "Okay, Mira, seriously? I thought you were more adult than that. Are you kidding me?"
Anna breaks her down and tells her, "Hey, like if it wasn't for your sacrifice, I wouldn't be here."
Yeah, you made a sacrifice because you knew that Go would continue to protect people in that fight. Because your sacrifice, I was able to be saved because Go was managed to save me because he lived.
Yeah.
But in fact, you saved me, and that kind of like makes her like, what is it like?
It
That
kind of
like,
it
convinces
snaps her out of the like suicide run, and she launches her attack, but does it in a way where it just gets rid of all the gunk off of the Danner.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't destroy Go, and she's like, "Go, Anna, do it."
But her mech still gets damaged as a result of it.
Oh yeah, they show that.
So at that moment, the operator said that they finished the program to force the merge. So they launched that, and as they're merging together, they start. Anna starts trying to appeal to Go. It is successful, and Go manages to calm down enough for them to fight again.
Yeah, like he's actually talking and whatnot. Like it still looks mutated, but he still has thought, and he's not just in a blind rage. So
yeah, so they finish the merge and they go to fly off. They call a boy, and the hawk that Ken had, that was like his boy, shows up and connects with them to fly him to the beast.
yeah.
So then we cut to the English team. Both of them survive. They're out of their backs, and they look up in time to see Godannar flying past. And then we get to see Katerina's, the Russian team, similar situation. And so one of the things that they mention is Anna's surprisingly keeping the plasma drives in control.
Yeah. And they're like, how is she able to do that? Like, she's learned to control them.
Yeah.
All that training, I guess, paid off.
So Godannar lands a big hit on it, as we see here. And then they go in for another attack, but the beast captures them. And did I get it? And then Koji pops up again.
Literally the MVP. I don't know how to express this even more. Koji is literally the MVP of almost this entire final arc. Like, he shows up whenever it's needed.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
So he goes in just as the beast is about to launch. It's like it's huge blast right into Godannar. He hits it, which ends up causing Lou to pop out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, let's. I'm gonna transform into the sword and use me." So
yeah, and they literally grab her, and it's the most badass metal thing ever. They grab the sword, and everybody's just like, "Wait a second, did this say a triple merge?"
Yeah, so
and they
triple
show the
drive.
face of, like, all three of them, like all of them yelling, freaking jumping up into the air.
Yeah, so they go in for the big blow.
And then as soon as they go for the blow, they like freeze frame, and like the color changes to like, I don't know, like grayish or whatever. And Honest is like, "We won the fight, but this is the last time I ever spoke to Go." And I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
I was like, "You killed the momentum, man. Come on!" And then it ends. I was like, "God."
So, but for those that can't wait, jump right into the next episode.
They do it.
Yeah, they crack through the shell. They manage to completely destroy its core.
Big explosion.
Yeah. So after all the dust settles and everything, Anna turns around and goes.
Finds that freaking cocoon.
Yeah. So then it jumps 7 years later.
Yeah, I was like, wow, all right, quite a time jump, but okay.
Yeah. So when it jumps 7 years later, it starts showing that Go is in his cocoon and he's in the space station.
Yeah.
Pops is running a diner at this point.
Yeah, and him and what's her name? Teku?
Tanobu or something.
No, the T word, the one with the black hair.
Yeah. So they're running a diner. The Lovebirds are married and already have 2 kids, and they have a third one on the way.
I was like, my God. I was like, wow, y'all couldn't control yourselves, huh?
Hey, at least they waited until marriage.
True. No, they didn't. They got busy even before they were married. They just had kids after they got married.
So as they're visiting and having a conversation, one of the funny things about this moment before anything else happens, they're kind of doing a pan around and there's a TV on.
Yeah, they're doing like freaking
Super Sentai.
Yeah, Power Rangers freaking parody.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
And so a beast attack warning goes off. We cut to the base. Turns out Shizuru is now in command. Koji's her second in command.
Yep.
There's a couple of new girls as the operators.
I think they're all like Anna's like old high school friends as well.
Several, yeah. The operators and I think a couple of the mechanics.
Yeah, one of the mechanics, particularly like the one with the blue hair, I think.
Yeah.
Was also one of her friends. I think that's the one that she actually roommated with for a while.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, I think they mentioned that.
So then we find out Shinobu's a pilot,
Yep,
but he's being told not to launch. I think.
I think so. Yeah, I think they're
Uh,
telling him to hold off or something.
yeah. So, um, and then we get a quick flashback of him seeing his brother being pulled out of Danner as a cocoon.
Yeah, and when that happened, like Shinobu just made like a vow. He's like, I want to be just like my brother. I don't know. I don't care what it takes. I want to be like him.
Yeah.
He kind of steps up the plate to be like the next go.
So then we get a shot of Anna and Mira launching to fight the beasts. Um,
Yeah, like Anna looks even older now too, with like longer hair.
yeah, her hair's finally grown out.
Yeah, which makes sense because like 7 years, if she was 17, she has to be like 24 by now.
Yeah, and um, so then they don't really show the fight. They're kind of quickly going through stuff. So
Yeah,
then we get we cut to outer space and we see her mom flying in a spaceship, either to the no back to Earth.
yeah, yeah. I believe back to Earth because the next thing we see her back on the planet.
Yeah, and the mech that's flying alongside of her is the commander. That
Yeah, Anna's father, I believe, is in that.
no, it's not Anna's father. It's the guy that used to command with her.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, Anna's father's like disappeared again. I think.
No, he was there though.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, no, he's still there. He hasn't left yet.
yeah. Um, and then we see two new girl pilots, and their mechs merge into this tiger lady.
Yeah, I actually think the two mech. I think those two female pilots are the original computer girls that were at the front.
Yeah,
At the
I
front.
wasn't completely sure, but
Yeah, no, they are. I recognized their hair style, and I was like, oh wait, no, that's them. That and their voices, I was like, okay, yeah, no, that's them. They're
yeah.
pilots now. They have a freaking cat, tiger, mech. Maybe even like the commander's like, I say, no freaking cat mechs. Come on.
So hey, leave that alone. Sorry.
There you go.
So during all this, and yeah, I forgot to mention when the attack that Anna and Mara launched to go and fight, when the attack launched and the alarms were going off, uh, the lovebirds, she went into labor at the same time.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, really? First a cat, now you? I'm like, what are these people? I'm like, getting into labor at the worst possible time.
So, so during this kind of moment, we find out that the women who were swallowed by the beasts
Yeah, or
had
at
their
least
DNA altered,
yeah,
and it gave them a neutralizing effect on the virus, which
yeah, like it kind of like upped their DNA almost.
yeah,
Like it gave them almost like healing abilities. Like any kind of physical touch or anything that they had with somebody would literally heal them. As we saw
yeah,
with Mira kissing Chizuru in season one, as we saw with the two lovebirds kissing and her glowing, and as we saw with Anna hugging Go. But we don't see Anna glow, but they make a hint that that also occurred when they were hugging each other.
yeah.
Which I actually thought that was a cool twist. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and they confirm that the benefits continue on through the children,
Yeah.
and so they're um, so they're hoping for a male to be born with this to see if it could help like uh, reverse the virus in the male pilots and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Shinobu and Anna are visiting, and the and the the lovebirds and checking out the newborn, and then Hannah's mom bursts in with the
Okay.
other two kids.
And they're like basically playing with their boobs the entire time. Like, they're
And then
monsters.
the entire time that they're standing there like that, the one standing there in front of the mom, it's just
Yeah, it's just bouncing them up and down, and they're both going like boobies, boobies, boobies. I'm like, oh my god, kids.
and they're both girls too.
Yeah, which is even more funny.
Oh my gosh. Um, so it turns out Mira's DNA, because she was uh, with the mimetic beast for so long, um, is like her DNA provides a key to basically saving mankind.
Yeah.
So she agrees to like go wherever she's needed to be able to, to do it. Uh, we get and then they do confirm that the baby boy that was born, he had the key to like helping to cure the pilots too. So between the two of them, they or no, the baby boy helps with Go. Mira helps with everything else. So we cut to the other pilots basically getting treatments, and Knight can't help but being flirting around and stuff.
Yeah, and he's just like, I'm going to date somebody. You could date my sister.
Yeah. So,
But of course, Shadow's girlfriend or love interest shows up.
Yeah. And then the Chinese lady, I forgot her name, but she's helping to design new boy bots with the commissioner's office, since she lost her partner in mech and everything. We do get a quick scene of Lou battling beasts in the tundra by herself.
Yeah, and she looks older. She looks a lot older as well.
Yes. So she's now like 18 years old or something like that.
Yeah, because 14. Well, hang on. How old was she? Like 14?
I couldn't remember if she was 11 or I thought she was like 11.
I thought she was 14.
I don't know.
I remember
somewhere between she's between 18 and 24.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because if she was 14, 7 years, that's like
21.
Yeah, 21. So there you go.
Yeah, 18 to 21, something like that. So then, like I mentioned, the baby boy was confirmed to like his DNA. He had the key to reviving Go.
Yeah, and now like they're saying that like Go is like ready to like emerge anytime.
Yeah.
It just depends on like when he's like willing to break out himself.
Then we get a flashback of when Anna was born.
Yeah, which I really like this scene. I thought this scene was adorable and really fun because I like it. I love whenever like shows or movies like go back in time to like when the parents were younger, to like when the main character's a baby, because I just like that. I think it's like a cute like flashback.
And
so, how like young both of them look too in this photo. It's just like, oh, look at the young couple, cute.
Yeah, and one of the funny things is Anna's mom is yelling at her dad about smoking in the house.
Yeah, she's the one that smokes now all the time when they're like older.
And so they're kind of so he's working on designs and they're working on a dinner, and they're talking about how the Chinese came up with Godannar. Like they had already created their name, and they're like, well, what are we going to name our mech? And from his cigarette, the ashes burn part of the paper, or whatever, and so
and like it falls down and it forms the word "go," Anna or something like that.
God, and then Dan and Anna. So then they're like, we'll call it Godannar.
Yeah, they're like, right there, write that down, write that down.
So then after that, it cuts to Go breaking out of his cocoon, and his hair is super long.
Yeah. It's like freaking Super Saiyan 3 long almost.
longer than that.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Actually,
uh, maybe not as tall, but it's longer.
yeah, no, it does look longer.
um, so then, it uh, cuts to like a month later, and apparently Go and Anna are renewing their vows. Everybody's in the audience. Um,
Yes, everybody.
Shinobu's sitting next to Shizuru.
And he's like,
And
maybe it's time maybe he's like, I get a happy ending too. And then freaking Cody shows up. He's like, don't you even think about it. I'm gonna kill you.
so,
I'm like, oh god.
um,
And Caesar just laughs it off.
yeah, and so, um, so,
Yeah.
and then Shizuru gets a phone call, and she's carrying her phone in between her breasts, like
Yeah,
Anna's
just like the commander was back then. I was like, it's a full circle. As George Lucas would say, it's poetry. It
Yeah.
rhymes. Circle.
So then everybody pops up and says, "All right, let's."
I love that. They're all like in like at first they're like all like wetting the tire, and then the next second, boom,
Yeah.
suits. I'm like, okay.
So, so everybody heads out to fight the beast, and apparently it's like the final battle.
Yeah, like this is like the main beast I think they have to take out.
So we get to see the Tiger Girls closer, which I thought the mech looked really cool, and they got.
Yeah. Oh, I just noticed they had the tiger face right there for the hand. I didn't even notice that until now. That's neat. Freaking Voltron.
Yeah.
Rip off.
And then we get kind of this shot of everybody together, and then this was the very end.
Yeah, that was a cool shot. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like the fact that Lou showed up for their wedding also. Like she made time out of her like revenge quest to show up for them. I'm like, oh, all right, at least she still cares. Good on her. Yeah, but that's the end. That's the end of Godannar.
So really
good show. Yeah, would highly recommend. If our discussions on this show have not coaxed you into watching this, then I don't know what will.
Yeah. It's a fun series, really good action fight scenes.
Yeah. Tons of likable characters.
Yep.
Surprisingly, like really good animation.
Yeah. The merging and everything else just works really well.
It's just like one of those classic kind of like giant mech shows that we don't really get a lot of nowadays. So it's neat to see to watch the ones that were popular back then. So yeah, but I would recommend it. Yep. Overall, I think I would give this series like maybe like I think a solid 8, like between a 7.5 and an 8 out of 10. Like I enjoyed it. It was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
If you're a big fan of giant mechs or just an anime fan or a fan of fan service, go watch it. Go check it out. It'll satisfy all your needs.
Yeah. Just be aware there is quite a few times where it cuts really quickly from like one thing to another. And then other times it'll extend for a while. Not necessarily a bad thing. It's just if you're not really expecting it, it can be a little jarring.
Definitely. That's another thing too. Yeah, like it. There's moments where it calms down, but there's a lot of moments where it's like very fast, like editing. It's like
yeah,
and you kind of just have to catch stuff. You're like, what the?
And like I mentioned in a previous episode, there's a lot of times where they don't really explain how much time is passing between like one moment and the next.
Yeah, they kind of just like make you guess about what happened.
Yeah, so you don't know if it's like an hour later or like 5 days later, unless they specifically say like, hey, you've been gone for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So, but yeah, definitely highly recommend it. Good fun series, quick. Not nothing too crazy. Just the 13 episode seasons. And I know there's like a Blu-ray with like all of it together and stuff. So, yeah. So, with that being said, now that we're done with Godannar, we're going to announce the series that we're going to be start talking about next week.
Yes.
I will hand it over to my good friend Remy.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week we're going to be reviewing a new anime that just came out recently that has been very popular. I watched it. I enjoyed it. I read the manga. My friend DJ here has started reading the manga. He's enjoyed it. He's ready to watch the anime. Yep. Folks, next week we are starting Kaiju number 8.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I've read the first volume of the manga. Haven't seen anything of the anime yet. But
you are in for a treat then, my friend.
Yeah. Having read through the first volume of the manga, I totally understand where the fascination with the series comes from, and I am so looking forward to watching it.
Yes, so. And there's a very short season, so like about 12 episodes.
So this will probably be about a 2-week conversation.
Yep.
Unless we decide to make it into 3 weeks and truncate, but 2 weeks is fine too. So, with all that being said, we're going to call it a night here. If you've watched to this point, we appreciate you doing so. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Please share it with your friends. We're a new channel and still trying to grow, so any help will be greatly appreciated. We love you.
Thank you.
We're nice people, we swear.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
I was not supposed to say that. I mean, yes, we're angels. We're very loving people.
So catch us next week, and we'll be talking about Kaiju number 8. And please, if there's any series that you'd like to hear our thoughts on, hear us talk about, break down, and everything,
recommend
comments.
Yes, we're open,
and we'll definitely take it in consideration. And hopefully it'll be something that we haven't seen yet. So,
yep.
Until next time, peace, everybody.
Later.